Me and can you
Good morning, sir.
yes, very good morning. Okay, can you hear me and can you see the image clearly, or screen is clear, vision is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so what we had seen last lecture, I think last lecture we have covered about agonist and antagonist of adrenergic system. What is that adrenergic system and all the things that we have covered in this part. Adrenergic and adrenergic, what is the agonist, what are the agonist of adrenergic system, what are the antagonist of adrenergic system. Adrenergic system, how does it act? With the help of some receptors, the receptors like alpha receptor, beta receptor, what is its importance in alpha receptor, all these parameters we had seen in last lecture. As well as we had seen that is what are the applications of agonist, and most important thing that we had seen, that is Dale's vasomotor reverse action. What is the Dale's vasomotor reaction? That is in simple single word we want to say, that is conversion from biphasic to the monophasic. With the help of some antagonist we can see how this biphasic action is get converted to the monophasic. Now come to the today's point. The today's point is receptor blockers, alpha receptor blockers. Now these blockers, two types of receptors are present. One is alpha receptor, another is a beta receptor. So these two receptors, alpha receptor and beta receptor, these two receptors are now we can block. So what are the conditions where we can block this receptor and why it's need to block, that we have to see. So what is that mechanism blocking of receptor, and second thing is that what are its application. If we are blocking this receptor, then what are the benefits, that we are going to see in today's lecture. So first thing is that alpha receptor blocker. In alpha receptor blocker, the receptors are blocked by two mechanisms. One is called as competitively and another is called as non-competitively. So this blocking, it's also called as an antagonism. The effect is called as an antagonism. When drugs are get blocked, these drugs are having some affinity towards that receptor, having efficacy towards that receptor. What is its application? Here we want to avoid the effect of this adrenaline or adrenergic drug with the help of some alpha receptors, beta receptor. So for that purpose we need that these receptors should get blocked. How does it get blocked? It get blocked by two ways. One is called as a competitively blocking and another it's called as a non-competitively blocking. One is called as a competitively blocking, another called as a non-competitively blocking. So competitively blocking, definitely this blocking is depend upon the capacity, the strongness of the drug or strongness of the agonist or antagonist. Whichever is the stronger one, agonist or antagonist, whichever is the stronger one, it is get activated. If the drug is more stronger than the antagonist, then definitely it get bind with the receptor. If antagonist is more stronger than that of antagonist, than the agonist, then definitely antagonist will overcome one. This is one method that we call as a competitively. Another one that is called as a non-competitively. That it blocks this receptor and it has just a thing. It doesn't matter how much the competition is between agonist and antagonist. It goes and get bind with the receptor. That's why it's produces its action. It's in a so simple way. That is called as a blocking. Then next point is what are its pharmacological action? Why it is to be considered pharmacological action? right? So as we know very well, where these alpha receptors are present, these alpha receptors are present in few of the part where alpha receptors are present in blood vessels. Majorly we can say it is present in a blood vessel. So alpha receptor, there are the two types of receptor. One is alpha 1, another one is alpha 2. Here intentionally we can see here that is an alpha 1 receptor. So what is the role of alpha receptor? Alpha receptor, they are present in blood vessel. So what its role? The role is that they are responsible for maintaining the constriction and relaxation of the blood vessel wherever it is needed. Wherever it is needed. That is the most important thing. And depending upon its constriction and relaxation, it helpful for the regulation of the blood pressure in our body. If the normal blood pressure is there and due to some reason if the blood vessels are get constricted, then definitely the blood pressure will rise. Why? Because this is a response given by the alpha receptor. So this is the role. So that's why let's see what is that. This blockage of alpha 1 vasoconstrictor receptor, it reduces the peripheral resistance and causes pooling blood in vessels. This is the most important thing. If there is a constriction of blood vessel, then definitely there is an exertion of pressure on the walls of the blood pressure. That is the most important thing. What happens when this antagonistic effect is occurring, means blocking of alpha 1 receptor. As we are blocked the alpha receptor, that is nothing but what is the role of alpha receptor? That is a constriction. So it is get avoided. It reduces. So as it reduces the constriction of blood vessel, the resistance, particularly peripheral resistance of this blood is get reduces. Peripheral resistance of the blood vessels is get reduced. Due to that, whatever the complications may arise due to the peripheral vasoconstriction, it is get totally avoided. That is the first thing. And the bloods, whatever the blood is available peripherally, that blood is get remain as it is. That is the first thing, that peripherally blood vessels resistance is get reduced. This is the first thing. Second thing is that venous returns and cardiac output is reduced, producing falling blood pressure. Now what is that thing is, whatever quantity of blood is get out from the contraction of heart, definitely that much quantity of blood should get returned in again heart. So it's in a circular, it's in a cycle. That is the most important thing. So whenever there is a difference, whenever there is an imbalance between out and in, output and input of the blood, then definitely there is some disease condition or there is some disorder condition. Why? Whatever quantity of blood is get pumped out, that much quantity of blood should get returned in the heart. That is the simple logic. But what happens due to the decrease in a peripheral blood vessels, decrease in a peripheral blood vessel resistance, the blood vessels are get relaxed. Due to the relaxation, the sufficient quantity of pressure which should be get exerted, that is not get maintained. So to maintaining of that particular pressure is needed the vasoconstriction, that is get avoided due to this blocking. And this blocking pressure action of adrenaline, which then produces only fall in blood pressure, as that we had seen Dell's vasomotor reaction. That is why Dell's vasomotor reaction. That we don't want actually. Only thing is that if we are using this alpha blocker, then there might be some complication, that is in fall in blood pressure. Now the question comes, why there is a fall in blood pressure? This is the reason. Why? The thing is that due to the peripheral resistance, decrease in a peripheral resistance, suddenly the blood pull in a blood vessel, which results in decrease in a blood pressure, and there is a imbalance between cardiac output and cardiac input that we don't have. So what is the discussion in this point? The discussion in this point that due to the use of adrenaline or due to the use of some any other adrenergic drug, instead of getting the stimulation, there might be a fall of the blood vessel. Why? Because of this Dale's vasomotor reverse action that we had seen. That is the most important point. This is a pharmacological action. This is the point. The next one is that there might be a possibility of reflux tachycardia due to the fall in blood pressure and increase in the release of noradrenaline in the heart. That is one more case. Tachycardia. Tachycardia, that is nothing but increase in cardiac activity. Now here seeing the thing, two different things are there. One is the increase in heart rate and another is there is a decrease in blood pressure. Usually, normally, what is the ideal condition? The ideal condition is that increase in a cardiac activity, there should be increase in a blood pressure. Why? As cardiac output increases, it should exert some pressure on blood vessel. So as there is some pressure on blood vessel, that we call as a blood pressure. That is one normal cycle. But here what happened? Here there is a tachycardia. Why? Because of increase in a cardiac activity. And second thing is that there is a decrease in a blood pressure. Why? Again the same thing, peripheral relaxation, peripheral vasodilation effect. Next one, nasal stiffness due to the alpha blockage in nasal blood vessel. That I told you already in last lecture what is mean by the nasal congestion. Why there is a nasal congestion? Nasal congestion is due to the blocking of or due to the enlargement of the blood vessels in the nasal area. Due to this, the airway gap is get reduced due to the reduction of airways gap, because already the blood vessels are getting dilated phase. So this airway is get narrowed. That we call as a congestion. So instead of that, if we use this vasoconstriction, automatically the relaxed or dilated blood vessels get constricted. So due to the constriction, when this is one blood vessel, this is one vessel, two blood vessels are there. These are the two blood vessels. Due to the relaxation, their size is increased, but in between that narration, there is a narration of air vessel, which we considered as a congestion. What is the solution for that? You just contract this blood vessel. Due to constriction of blood vessel, the gap between the two blood vessels is getting increased. That is nothing but the opening of the congestion. That we call as an opening of congestion. And here we are using this alpha blocker. That's why here we are getting a complication, that is a nasal stuffness. That is one thing. Next one, meiosis result from blockage of alpha receptor in radial muscle of the iris. Two muscles are there. One is parasympathetic, another one is, the two systems are there. One is parasympathetic system, another is a sympathetic system. Parasympathetic system is get connected with a circular muscle, and second one, sympathetic system, is get connected with the radial muscle. So these two muscles are available, two receptors are available. One is parasympathetic, sympathetic, another one is the radial muscle and the circular muscle. So this sympathetic muscles are related with the radial muscle. Circular muscle is related with the parasympathetic muscle. Constriction of pupil is related with the parasympathetic nervous system, and here sympathetic system is related with the radial muscle of iris. In practical, we are going to see what are the radial muscle. In general, just I told you that radial muscle means that is a radius, as like spokes in your cycle wheel. If you see the bicycles are having a spokes. So the spokes are like example of an iris of a radial. So it's a radial. So once they are get constricted, there is a dilation of pupil. So here what happened? We are getting meiosis, not mydriasis. Why meiosis? So instead of mydriasis, instead of this mydriasis, we are getting meiosis. Why? Because of the blocking of the alpha receptor. The radial muscles are not working for them. Radial muscles are not working. That's why they are just get relaxed, and due to the relaxation, they produces the meiosis. The only one thing that you need to consider in practical, we are going to see in detail wise, both the muscles, radial as well as iris muscle, radial muscle as well as the circular muscle, both muscles should get contracted to produce its effect as a mydriasis or meiosis. If you want the mydriasis, then definitely circular muscle get contract. Then and only we get the mydriasis or constriction of the pupil, circular muscle. Second thing, if we think about the radial muscle, the radial muscles are also get constricted. If these radial muscles are get constricted, it get pulls out. It's like simple. It's like this is a hole, and when it get pulls out, means constriction, it pulls. When it get pulls, it gets a constriction. That will be called as a radial muscle constriction. So both these things are same. That is a constriction of radial muscle and circular muscle is needed. Then and then only there is a result as a mydriasis or meiosis. So this mydriasis meiosis depend upon the contraction. So sympathetic nervous system contracts radial muscle. Sympathetic nervous system contract radial muscle. When this sympathetic nervous system contracts, then radial muscle contracts, then we get that we call as a dilation of pupil. Now here sympathetic nervous systems are not working. That is nothing but instead of dilation, they are produced as a meiosis. That is the result. In detail, we will see in a practical. Next, intestinal motility is increased and diarrhea may cause. Again the same. So sympathetic nervous system are connected with this intestinal to reduce the motility. Now here this get blocked. So instead of reduction, there is an opposite action. Totally all are the opposite action. Hypotension produced by the alpha blockers and can be reduced by renal blood flow, reducing glomerular filtration rate, as well as reabsorption of sodium and the water is also get changed. Due to that, there is a retention of some sodium as well as there is increase in a blood volume in a specific area, which results in again there is a hypotension. This is one more cause because of the alpha blocker. Renal blood flow is reduced, glomerular filtration rate is reduced. There should be a maintenance of the pressure. Whenever there is a filtration, there should be a proper pressure. When there is a proper pressure, then and then only forcefully it will get filtered out. So here these blood vessels are on dilated phase. They are not ready to produce any pressure. So for that reason, again there is a hypotension. There is again a changes in the blood pressure. Next one, in related with the bladder and prostate, this sphincter muscles of the bladder as well as the prostates are get reduced. That's why there might be a possibility of flow of urine. There is a possibility of flow of urine. Urine may get flow without knowing the patient. That is one reason. And second thing is that there might be a hyperatrophy of prostate. Hyperatrophy. What is meant by hyperatrophy? Hyper means increase. Trophy means that is nothing but increase in the cell formation. So there is increase of cell, prostate enlargement. In simple words, we can say prostate enlargement. The prostate cells are get enlarged, and due to the prostate cell enlarged, the urinal is get compressed due to the enlargement. So in this prostate there is one urinal. So that urinal is get compressed due to the enlargement of this prostate. So due to this prostate enlargement, this urinal is get compressed, and the patient is unable to pass the urine forcefully. He needs to take a more time than a regular one. Why? Because this urinal is get compressed. That could be the one more reason. So these are the some things, parameters. These are the some pharmacological actions that we are getting with the alpha receptor. Right. The next one is the beta receptor. Now beta receptor is present in two areas. One, beta 1 in the heart, beta 2 lung. There is one heart in our body, that's why beta 1, 2 lungs, that is beta 2. So this beta blocker constitutes a major therapeutic roles in maintaining of some cardiac complications like angina pectoris, cardiac arrhythmia, as well as in hypertension. These drugs are having a specific roles. Due to this increase in the cardiac activity, we need to suppress the cardiac activity. So for that purpose, angina pectoris, for that purpose we need to use some beta blockers. This structurally they are related with an isoprenaline and having a very high good affinity towards the beta receptors, and that's why it goes and get bind with the receptor and it produces its action. So this is what about the beta blocker. Now if we go more specification, as we had seen, as we know very well, there are two receptors, beta 1 and beta 2 receptors. This beta 1 receptor is present in a heart and beta 2 in a lung. So whenever there is a specification, it has some specific pharmacological action. It has some pharmacological action. Let's see, when we see the specification of beta blocker, particularly this beta blockers we could use whenever there is a change in some sympathetic tone of the system. As there is an increase in a heart rate, or as there is an increase in the cardiac output, as there is an increase in the contractility, it is a must that we should use some blockers. And due to that blocker, this abnormal condition is get maintained. So instead of suppressing of the all, we could give a specification that it is a response or it is related with a cardiac activity. As well as these drugs are also reduces myocardial oxygen requirement. What do you mean by the myocardial oxygen? As there is a normal activity of heart, contraction and relaxation. For the contraction and relaxation, the muscles are need some oxygen, muscles are need some energy, muscles are need some nutrition, muscles are need some ions. So with the help of some ions, nutrition, energy and oxygen, that muscles are working very normally. That is one part. When we are trying to give, already some nutritions are there, energy is there and some ions are there. But the only thing is that whenever there is an increase in activity of heart, there is also increases the oxygen consumption. As we reduces the consumption of oxygen, then there is one complication that we call as an angina pectoris. Angina, pain, pectoris, pain in a chest. There is a pain in a chest. Why pain in the chest? Because oxygen is not available. Oxygen is not available. Due to this oxygen, the health of cardiac cells are get maintained, and due to lack of oxygen, the cells are get death. And whenever there is a damage, death of the cell, that we call as an angina pectoris. So consumption of oxygen is also one of the very important criteria. So we have to reduce the oxygen, means whatever the oxygen is available, with the help of this oxygen we could need to maintain the condition. So this is one of the very important thing. Next one, the drug reduces blood pressure by reducing cardiac output by depressing the heart, by blocking of the beta 1 receptor, as well as bronchoconstriction, as well as by producing the bronchoconstriction, they increases the airway resistance. Hence this is a possibility of an asthma, because it has an action both. It has an action on both beta 1 as well as the beta 2 receptor. Beta 1 is present on the heart, beta 2 is present in the lung. As we have reduces the action of adrenaline on beta 1 receptor, that is a blocked receptor, that is nothing but there is no any action of adrenaline on heart. In the same way, it also blocks the beta 2 receptor. Due to blockage of this beta 2 receptor, this cardiac muscles are get this lung muscles are get, bronchial muscles are get constriction. That is not good for us. As these bronchial muscles are constricted, this produces a symptom that we call as an asthma. That is a resistance in breathing. It is only because of the overall blocking of the beta receptor. So that's why it is necessary that we should be specified within a receptor. As well as it has some action, like it has a drug like propranolol. They directly depresses the action of the heart, and they decreases the myocardial contractility. There is a one that we call as membrane stabilizing effect, decreases the activity. As well as there are some other drugs which blocks the beta receptor and inhibits the action of adrenaline on heart, as well as some blood vessel, as well as some bronchial muscle. But due to this absence of catecholamines, some sympathetic activities are like increase in heart rate, increase in force of contraction, blood pressure, blood sugar level. This also get increases because of some other catecholamine absence. The drug like dichloroisoprenolol. This blocks this beta receptor and inhibit the activity, but also they inhibit the activity of or secretion of or formation of catecholamines. Due to that formation of catecholamines, some other complications may increase. So this also need to be considered in this point. Then what is the effect of this blocker on CNS, central nervous system? This propranolol, particularly if you see the example of propranolol, then this propranolol having a very good activity with the brain because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. It is having a good lipid solubility. That's why it just crosses the blood-brain barrier. And due to the crosses of blood-brain barrier, there might be a possibility of alteration in the mood of the person. Alteration in mood of the patient. The alteration of mood in patient, that means that it is directly get entered in some disorder, psychiatric disorder. Directly get entered in a psychiatric disorder. That is nothing but when it is get entered in a blood, entered in a brain, it hampers some secretion of catecholamines, and due to some change in quantity of catecholamines, the patient gets suffer from some psychiatric disorder. Okay, psychiatric disorder मध्ये तो जाऊ शकतो. What are its adverse effect? By looking all these things, what we can say? So if we use this alpha or beta blockers, anti-adrenergic drugs, then there might be a possibility that the patient suddenly have hypotension. There might be a cardiac asstole, cardiac failure due to the ventricular contractility, decrease in ventricular contractility. There is a possibility of bronchospasm, and as there is a asthmatic condition, possibility of confusion. Why confusion? Because of the sufficient quantity of blood, oxygenated blood is yet not reaches to the brain activity, and due to that there is one more possibility that patient is having a nausea, vomiting. Oxygenated blood, supply of oxygenated blood is a very important thing. When you have a less oxygen, when you have a less oxygenated blood supply, then the patient is having symptoms called as nausea, vomiting, confusion. Likewise symptoms are get arises. There is no proper growth, no proper development of the cell. That's why it is necessary that we should have a proper oxygenated blood. Right. So these are some side effects. Then what are its applications, therapeutic uses? The drug may be used in some following the conditions like angina pectoris, that is a pain in a chest that we call as angina pectoris. In cardiac arrhythmias, already you know what do you mean by arrhythmia, what are the types of complications. For maintaining the high blood pressure, that is called as treatment of the hypertension, as well as it is also used in treatment of the pheochromocytoma. In next lecture we are going to see about, or there are a few things like an pheochromocytoma or what that we are seeing. So it is also used in treatment of the pheochromocytoma. It is also one of the drug of choice, right? So these are the some things that is about our ANS, that is a drug acting on autonomic nervous system. So in this system we had totally seen that what do you mean by autonomic nervous system, what is the sympathetic system, what is the parasympathetic system, what is the role of parasympathetic system in our body, classification of this parasympathomimetic, application of parasympathomimetic, some other complications like toxins. Next one, that is sympathomimetic. Sympathomimetic is again, it is related with why it is needed. Next one, anti-adrenergic drug that we had seen. So with respect of the exam, now what are the points they are important? What are the points they are important? First thing is classification. Classification of sympathetic nervous system, classification of sympathomimetic, classification of parasympathomimetic, classification of parasympatholytic or anticholinergic, classification of sympatholytic or anti-adrenergic. These are the some important questions for this chapter. यावर बरेच क्वेश्चन्स विचारलेले आहेत क्लासिफिकेशन कसं लक्षात ठेवायचं हेही ऑलरेडी आपण डिस्कस केले, त्याचे पॉईंट्स आहेत तेही त्याच्यामध्ये आपण सगळे डिस्कस केलेले आहेत. त्यानंतर आपण बघितलं की जे काही इम्पॉर्टंट टॉक्झिन्स आहेत किंवा जे इम्पॉर्टंट पॉयझनिंग आहे लाईक बेलाडोना पॉयझनिंग, देन बेलाडोना पॉयझन ते आपण त्याच्यामध्ये बघितलं. तर त्याच्यामध्ये अँटीडोट का आहे, कुठला आहे, ऑर्गॅनोफॉस्फरस कंपाऊंड पॉयझनिंग हे थोडक्यात आपण त्याच्यामध्ये डिस्कस केलं. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट थिंग. सो दिस इज अ चॅप्टर दॅट वी कॉल एज autonomic nervous system. So apart from this, if you have seen any question related to an examination model answer or anything, then you just ask me, then we will discuss it on. As well as here also we need to discuss about the give reasons why adrenaline is called as a drug of choice in emergency, as well as adrenaline is in a kit of emergency as a drug of choice in emergency kit, etc., etc. All those things related to parasympathomimetic, neostigmine, it is used, acetylcholine and atropine sulfate is used, likewise the combination, and side effect, adverse effect and drug of choice, this thing we could use. Now here where these beta blockers could be used, beta blockers like propranolol is a drug of choice in angina pectoris, hypotension, pheochromocytoma. So question number 3, about the question number 3, in question number 3 these points are get discussed. Question number 3, these points are get discussed. So this is another very important. So with respect to question number 3, this chapter is very important. Definition are, it's okay, fine, there is no any specific mechanism of action. In practical we had seen the mechanism of action of adrenaline, mechanism of action of acetylcholine, how does it reduces as a cardiac activity tone, that we had seen. But apart from them there is no any specific drug that we had seen as for the mechanism of action. But some poisonings and are a very important thing, so you just do prepare for that, right? So this is what about the drug acting on autonomic nervous सिस्टीम. ही पॉईंट आहे की ज्याच्याशी रिलेटेड आपण हे सगळं इथं बघतो. आता याच्याशिवाय अजून तर काय पॉईंट असतील देन वी विल डिस्कस इट. इफ एनिथिंग इज देअर जस्ट लेट मी नो.